Okay, we're gonna I'm gonna leave this up right here, but you need to use this as reference when somebody tells you, even your Egyptian scholars, when they tell you our people were not in Europe, they're lying to you. The Roman is the Moor, the Iberian is the Moor, the Italian is the Moor, the Celtic is the Moor, the Greek is the Moor, the Teuton is the Moor, the Gaelic is the Moor, the Welsh is the Moor, the Cornish is the Moor, the Briton is the Moor, the Ursi is the Moor. You understand? All of Europe is our old lands. We don't talk about that now because the narrative has been sold that a lot of our people have bought, that we were only in Africa. But what they don't say in their studies or in their education, they don't tell you Europe is Africa. You're not going to hear anybody, no Egyptian scholar will tell you that they have to disassociate you with that, with our people being the original European. I know that sounds crazy. No, I'm not. We ain't the white man. We ain't. No, you're not the cracker. You're the Moor that was in Europe that gave him life. You gave the European life. I don't understand. Okay. The lie has been told so heavy and for so long, you can't think outside of Africa or black. The lie has been told for so long. Our people can't think outside of the lie. Our people can't think outside of, we can't think outside of what we were already told. We can't think outside of that. So if they say, if the white man said you wasn't in America, you wasn't in America. That's what you're going to say. If the white man said you wasn't in South America, that's what you're going to say. Well, the white man said I wasn't in South America, so I wasn't there. Your Egyptian scholar is going to say, you was a slave, you're not a Moor, and you weren't in the Americas. You were a slave, you're not a Moor, and you weren't in Europe. You're a slave. But our people were the Egyptians that created mathematics and language, but I don't know how mathematics and language got to Europe, because our people didn't go to Europe. No, you're a slave. Shut up. Don't talk about being, you're not a Moor, you're a slave. You're a black slave. Don't talk about being a Moor. Don't talk about the Moors being in Europe or the Moors being in America. You're just a black nigger slave. That's all you need to say you are. A black slave. You're a black slave that only speaks English. You don't speak Italian. You don't speak Gaelic. You don't speak Teutonic, Greek. You don't speak nothing. You only speak English. You're a black slave. You're a black slave. You were brought to America on a ship and a chain tied to you. You're a black slave from Africa that didn't speak no other language other than English, that was beaten into you. So listen to your scholars that are on the West Coast. Listen to them. They're going to tell you the Moors are your enemy. They're not going to show none of this though. And then I'm talking about your scholars. They may not live in California. They move around. Oh, we all move around. That ain't the bad thing, but they rep California. So your California scholars, shout out to them. Shout out to them no good niggas. They're going to tell you not to claim black because black is dead in law, but then they're not going to give you a nationality. They're not going to tell you what to claim. They're going to say, but they're going to tell you the Moor is your enemy. But then turn right around and tell you black is not what you are. But they're going to tell you the Moor is your enemy, but you're not a Moor. But that nigga speaking English. He don't speak Ibero, Celtic, Rome. He don't speak none of that. But the Moor is your enemy. But he's in Moorish lands telling you the Moor is your enemy. Unbelievable. Then you got your up north, the ones up around Michigan and Detroit that they are as bright as this screen on my phone, but they're gonna tell you you're a black African that came here as a slave. But he's an Egyptian scholar. He's got the biggest library of videos of knowledge telling you that you're not a Moor. That's all his information says, is that you're not a Moor and no Moor was in America. But I've already shown you all the maps that say this is he lives in Detroit. He's up in Michigan. He's big time. Back in the day, I remember I used to see videos of him telling the youth, oh, we're going to need to sell drugs in order to get up out of our situation. We need to sell dope and drugs. That's what that African scholar, Egyptian scholar up there around Detroit, up there in Michigan, used to talk that shit, that dumbass shit. You understand? Talking that dumbass shit as if we don't remember that. Now he's global African supremacy. But didn't the Moors come out of but Moors aren't in. Oh, okay, but you're not a Moor. Oh, okay, but Moors speak all these different languages that created and founded Europe, but we ain't Moors. Oh, God. Now if you look at his skin color is gonna say marron, brown, but he's gonna tell you to claim black. His skin color is not even black. This is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But anyway, yeah, this is just my little small video of me digressing. I had to make one digressive video. Check from all the scholars. They're obviously not Moor scholars. They're black Egyptian slave scholars. That's all they're going to teach you, to tell you to identify with. Don't identify with anything royalty. Even though these people right here have crowns on. They got crowns on their heads. Royal crowns. But you're a slave. You stay a slave. Don't think about royalty. It's a beautiful time to be alive. And if you're in Moorish lands, but you're not a Moor, you better catch some yonder. Comprende? Tu sabe? Adios, mi gente.